you say you've been diagnosed with this, right?
Yeah, but not really diagnosed, but right now I'm in a treatment, or if you can call it like that. I did a test recently, and in it I scored on the hyper focus, hyperattention, because you have the hyperattention and you have the hyperactivity, which is two variations that you can have. If you have both of them, then it's called ADHD, and if you have one of them, then it's called ADD, attention deficit disorder concept. I know for myself, I'm quite perfectionistic and critical of myself, which also tends to leave me in my thoughts, in the sense that I get distracted.
So wait, this
And
isn't your attention being drawn other places. This is you hyper focusing on what you're doing.
on my own thoughts, yeah.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
It is a good thing, unless you take it too far off grid.
You can't go too far.
Reality.
Can't go too
You can't go too far.
far. We are.
Hey guys, welcome to Unidentified Podcast. And today, we're talking about a quite different topic than usual. But this is one that actually it be something that's going on quite often, but people don't speak about it. So I'm gonna try to do my best to tell my story and to let you guys know about ADHD. Hypertension disorder, I think it's called. And
Wait, hold on.
yeah,
I
basically
thought it was adult hyperactivity. No, I don't
something like that, yeah. But yeah, it's something that actually is quite recent, that people seem to get diagnosed with this this disorder. It's what they call it. And yeah, people sing about it. I know Kendrick Lamar sings about it in his song. He has a song about it even. I see it popping up, and also TikToks and people that actually describe their form of ADHD, or their overthinking and their perfectionism that they tend to feel. And yeah, I don't know. Have you heard about it for yourself, or people that have been close to you that?
Okay, I had to think a minute. It's adult hyperactivity, hyperactivity attention deficit disorder. I think it's something like that.
Attention deficit hyper Activity
hyperactivity
disorder.
attention.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
One. We got it. Have you
Oh,
heard about it? Have you?
I don't think it's real. That's me. There you
You
go.
think it's real?
No, I don't think it's real. Like you said, I mean, like nobody was talking about this back in the day. I never heard of anybody with that when I was a kid. All this new stuff they're coming up with, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. What you say you've been diagnosed with this, right?
Yeah, but not really diagnosed, but right now I'm in a treatment, or if you can call it like that. I did a test recently, and in it I scored on the hyper focus, hyperattention, because you have the hyperattention and you have the hyperactivity, which is two variations that you can have. If you have both of them, then it's called ADHD, and if you have one of them, then it's called ADD, attention deficit disorder. And yeah, basically they have spotted, or the test made out that I was actually in one of the fields, in the hyperactivity or hyperfocus, my bad, had the tendencies that actually marked me being the ADHD type, but they couldn't exclude or include the fact that I was totally ADHD, like also having the attention deficit, or also having the hyperactivity which comes with it. And so I just went on. I did a test, IQ test, also with some, yeah, to see what my capacities are, my if my memory is going good, if how far am I on the scale of, yeah, processing information, storing information, and using that information as well to solve, yeah, puzzles and actually memorizing stuff. And yeah, on it, it also gave the tendency that I was indeed of a little bit higher than average, but on the other side I had some qualities, and that was the attention, what you do with information, and short-term memory, which actually tend to show that indeed the ADHD would be something that fits my yeah, the frame and the test results. So in that sense, you say it's fake, but I wouldn't say it's fake. I would say it's something that you can use to actually guide, define, or define a certain person in a certain concept. I know for myself, I'm quite perfectionistic and critical of myself, which also tends to leave me in my thoughts, in the sense that I get distracted and wander off, like, okay, I could have done this, that better, or that better, or this better, or I want to make it as perfectly as possible, and in it I get lost. So yeah, those are qualities that I know for myself that I do. And I don't know if you have things that you think are now clicking, like, oh yeah, I do that too, or I
Yeah, sometimes, but like, so what exactly is it? It's just like I thought it was always you can't focus on one thing. Like you would have the kids who like in class, like they can't, their attention can't be held. They're going from one thing to the next to the next. They're sketching, they're poking somebody in the arm, they're throwing things. They always got to do something. But the adult version of that would be like you just can't focus on one thing. Is that's what I thought it was? I don't know.
yeah, it actually, it can show itself in different variations, like I said. But one of them is actually that you are in a room that's crowded and people are talking, find it hard to exclude yourself from external prickles, or the external things that actually grab your attention or can grab your attention. And you lose focus, or you lose your concentration, and that's what happens in the adult version, for me at least.
So I don't know about that. I don't know about that
But indeed, you can train yourself to actually just block out the sounds and focus on one task.
because
It's like
that's
that.
normal. Like you should do that.
Indeed, I agree.
Yeah, that's why when you're in a library, they say, "Hey, no talking," because if you're sitting there trying to read a book, they're over there having a conversation. It's gonna draw your attention. I don't, like I said, man, I don't believe it. I don't know what these people are up to, man. But that that's just me.
Do you think they are scheming, or just planning something, or
I don't know.
it's,
Somebody uh, sub, Ryan, drugs subscriptions, making money. I don't. That's the only thing I can think of.
that-
Subscribing you people Ritalin or whatever they got you guys on. I don't know, man.
no, but yeah, the medicines that they prescribe are either Ritalin or antidepressants to help you focus a little bit more. If it really helps, in some cases it does, in some cases it doesn't, and it, it depends on the person. But what I say is, indeed, in a fair point that you're making in terms of making money, or just making money out off of people, out of medicine. The If you see the system, how it works, the psychologist and everything behind it, they get, of course, paid for treating people. And if they're not no treatable people, then if everybody's cured, or if everybody's sane, then they don't have people to treat or people to
Yeah.
help in the society.
I mean, yeah.
And
If someone comes in, you say, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you just get fit? Go for a run. Eat better, and you'll feel better." They're not going to tell anybody that. They're not making money.
fair point. But at the same time, I think, and the reason why I went to the doctors or to the psychologist or actually is to check, because I have a tendency to actually focus or hyper focus
So wait,
stuff,
this
and
isn't your attention being drawn other places. This is you hyper focusing on what you're doing.
on my own thoughts, yeah.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
It is a good thing unless you take it too far, grit,
You can't go too far. What are you
reality.
talking about? You can't go too far.
You can't go too far. If I believe that the the moon is falling or the world's gonna end tomorrow because of my train of thought, then
Okay.
in,
I'm thinking
then you can.
like you're doing like you're trying to figure something out. You're on the computer, you're working on something. Let's say you're a programmer and you got to figure out this problem and you're hyper focused on it. Like how was that?
Okay, then I'm trying to figure out the problem. I can do better. I can do better. Okay, I challenge myself trying to figure out the problem, but okay, somewhere I get stuck. And it might not even be in the finding a solution for the problem. In my own head, thinking for okay, why can't I find a solution for this problem? Why is it so hard?
But
Why
this is a good thing. Like
asking
you may
myself those
have to sit
questions?
there for hours or a whole day before you figure out a solution to a problem. But like a normal person would just get up and just start doing different stuff and they won't focus until the problem is finished. You know what I mean? Like that's a good thing. You got hyper focus. I would think.
It's in my sense, I feel like it's more of a burden than it is
But if
a
you're
blessing.
focusing on things that aren't really constructive.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's negative thought patterns that I have developed along the years, which aren't helping my capacity or my belief in myself to be able to solve the problem.
Okay. All right.
That's yeah, and that's why I also reached out for the psychologist to help me broaden my perspective on my own situation, get a bigger base to stand off from, which is yeah to other people's problems or relate to my own problems in and put them in perspective in the bigger scheme of things. And I have to tell you, it has helped, but now I'm finding myself back at a certain point where I do know what I can do, but at the same time, it's easier to fall into old habits indeed of thinking the way I thought before beforehand. So it's an ongoing process, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because once you notice, you can do something about it. But then the step to do something about it might even be uh, too big to do it on your own,
Okay.
or to yeah. Sometimes talking to people helps. Talking to a friend helps. Letting you know a friend you're thinking about stuff or your head is going crazy. That helps, and not even he doesn't even have to give an answer that would broaden your perspective or would alleviate you, because the answer is in yourself. But the fact that you let that out and yeah, just show your perspective from on this world and where you're standing right now, that helps to for other people to understand you and you understand yourself. And I think yeah, I support people doing that, and hope after this corona pandemic also that people reach out to each other and check out on each other from yeah, from my humble perspective.
Yeah. All right. I don't have anything to add. I still don't believe. But okay. All right, Nagai.
Thank you, man.